Now see about the thing. Summer, we are going to do the problems. We are going to do the problem from your CMS material what we have. So when you see about the problem here, the first one is about the nursing home. Right? First one is about the nursing home. What are they? But this is the CMS material. The CMS material, what I'm telling here. But now is it? See the thing, Sama, we are going to do the problems from your CMS material. What is there? So first of all, when you see the problem here, which kind of industry, which kind of method we have to follow in order to do it out, and what is the unit for that? What is the unit for that? That's what you are going to see here. Okay. Regarding material in the yesterday evening only, I've informed in the office and specifically told your name. That's your Karthik, I guess. They said they'll share it out. Once again, I'll remind and compulsory make that happen. Okay. Now coming to the nursing home, they are just providing the service, right? They're not manufacturing any goods. So what is the method of costing we do? The operating costing. And in nursing home, it will be taken as per bed or per day, right? And when you talk about the road transport point of view, the method of costing, road transport also, they are not manufacturing any goods. They are also not manufacturing any goods. The method we follow is called the operating costing. What is the method we follow? Operating costing. Generally in road transport, how do they charge? They charge per kilometer, right? They charge per kilometer or per mile, right? So that is what the unit is, per kilometer or per mile is the unit. And next, coming about the steel manufacturing. Now, when you take about the steel manufacturing involves a multiple number of process, and we produce the same kind of units in a multiple things. So it's called process costing. So normal. So steel is which involves a multiple process, and steel is generally measured in per tons, right? And what about the coal? Coal. When you talk about the coal, what is it? Coal is extracted in a same kind of units are extracted in a large numbers, right? Coal is extracted. So what is it? Singular output. Same kind of method when we are making multiple large quantities, single or output costing. And what is it? Generally, coal we take it in per ton. Okay. And bicycles, bicycle, TV, these all are what happens in this kind of industries means the small part, the parts which are used, I will order it to somebody else. I'll get all of them. I will assemble and manufacture a cycle. Or TV, all the parts in the TV are not made by the company of LG or something. The internal parts are bought from the different sectors, and all these things are clubbed and prepared by the LG. So what is it? It includes a multiple costing. When do we use multiple costing? When it includes both job as well as process, that's called the multiple costing where we do. Next one is bridge. My any kind of bridge, this is multiple. And generally bicycles per unit, right? Each cycles are sold per unit, right? And bridge construction, any kind of construction will be coming in an construct, okay, contract costing. Any kind of buildings constructions will come under the contract. They take a contract to construct a building or dam, right? And interior decoration. So the interior decoration, are they manufacturing? It is a job done. Decorate my house is a job. Okay, it's a job taken to do the work. Yes. And next coming to the advertising. Advertising is also a job, right? It's a job undertaken to provide. You are not doing it's just some kind of service provided, but you have to send each and every student a message. Now, what are you doing? You're advertising the product. It's a job undertaken. Okay. And what is it for interior decoration? What will be the unit per job? Okay. Generally, job costing. You let's say you want to do an interior decoration for the house, right? When you want to do an interior decoration for the house, the points here what you take into consideration would be the interior decoration what we are talking here per house. Okay, to renovate or to decorate my house, I will give you 10,000 rupees. So that's per job. So unit also will be per job. And furniture, they told you furniture also you can take multiple amount. Why multiple? It includes both job as well as process, right? Sugar company have its own sugarcane fields. Okay, what is that? Sugar company having its own, it's nothing but a process, multiple process. You have to get it out. You learn in the science. In science, you'll learn that molasses and all these things. How do they manufacture it? Involves a multiple amounts of process sugar. and it is generally done in per kg or per quintal or per ton, right? Per quintal or per ton, right? And next thing is about the road transport. Again, they gave road transport. Road transport. The above one is goods, but here it is passengers. With the good or a passenger, we take it as an operating costing only, because here no, you're not manufacturing anything else. Here also operating costing only, but here we take per passenger kilometer. My, if it's for goods, we take per kilometer per unit or something. But if it's a you're moving the things, just a second, just a second. Okay, Amma. Once again telling you there's some audio issue here. So now you can hear again, right? Okay. Now, once you see there, road transport, if it's a passenger operating, is an operating per passenger kilometer. So road transport is what they are providing the service, and even the electricity boards also they are providing the service. So it's operating. Canteen they are providing the services. So what they do can operate. They are just operating the things. They are not manufacturing something and selling. They are just providing some kind of service. That's what we call then where we apply the operating costing. Okay, Amma, this kind of question you may expect in the exam point of view. I've seen the last 2 or 3 papers, so they have asked one of the questions this also. Okay. Now, if you have your material, try to uh, this is the match the following what we have. The matching you have, I'll just get it nearby so that you can write. But let's try. You try to do the match the following here. See, 10 are there. Try to write the match the following. Then we'll discuss the points. First, you try to make it out. Then I'll discuss the point. First, see what is the item. What is the item? Total fixed cost. What do you remember when you tell about total fixed cost? What happens to total fixed cost? Next, total variable cost, unit variable cost, and unit fixed cost. If you need to tell me the terms, what is total fixed cost? Total fixed cost will remain fixed. Total fixed cost will remain fixed, irrespective of the level of production. But total variable cost, what happens? Total variable cost will increase with the level of production, right? Which increase with the level of the production. Next, unit variable cost. Per unit variable cost will be always constant. Let's say if 10 rupees is selling price, per every unit 4 rupees is variable cost. That means per every unit variable cost is constant. But unit fixed cost. But let's say I have a building where I pay a rent of 1 lakh rupees. Rent is a fixed cost or variable cost? Rent is a fixed cost, right? Now, if I have one student in my class, this 1 lakh is to be borne by whom? Per student 1 lakh. If there are 2 students, it will cost me 50,000. If there are 4 students, each student will cost 25,000. Like that, what is happening? For every student increasing, my per unit fixed cost is getting decreasing. Once again, telling you the first 4 points: total fixed cost, total variable cost, unit variable cost, unit fixed cost. Total fixed cost is always constant. Total is always constant. 1 lakh rent means 1 lakh only. right? It doesn't change with the level of production. Next, total variable cost is which changes with the level of production. If you increase this, the total variable cost will increase. Let's say variable cost per unit is 4 rupees. If I produce 10 units, it will be 40. If I produce 100 units, it will be 400, right? But unit variable cost will be always same, right? Per unit variable cost will be always same, right? In the same way, unit fixed cost will get reduced. Unit fixed cost is getting reduced. Just a second. Okay, I'm gonna try to do the match the following what we have. First, total fixed cost. What will be the answer? Total fixed cost, if you want, I will write it as 7. I'm writing the answer beside. What is 7? Remains constant in total. Yes or no? Total fixed cost will remain constant in total. Yes. Next, total variable cost. Total variable cost, what can be the best answer? What you can do? Increases with the proportion of output, right? So second one, I'll write 3. First one, 7. First one I'm writing as 7, Amma. The second one I'm writing as 3. Total variable cost, what happens? Increases in the proportion to output. Yes, 1 unit, it will be 4 rupees. 10 units, 40. 100 units, 400. Right? Next, unit variable cost. Unit variable cost. What will be the unit variable cost when you're making out here? What happens to the unit variable cost? Remains constant per unit, right? Remains constant. Just now I told that unit variable cost will always remains constant. That is 8. So we have done 7. We have done 3. We have done 8. Next, fourth one is unit fixed cost. Just now I told the unit fixed cost decreases with the rise in output. Per unit fixed cost, what happens? It decreases. So now, so what is the answer you will have there? That will be 6. Yes or no? If I told you building rent, if one student is there, 1 lakh has to be charged by that student only. If 2 students are there, per unit it will be 50,000. If 3 students are there, it will be 33,333. So it goes on decreasing with the output. Understood? Output increases, fixed cost, unit fixed cost decreases. Next, standard cost. Now, what is the standard cost? Is the predetermined cost. Right? Is the predetermined cost. What cost should be? What cost should be? Fifth one is, sir, fourth one is, what did we write? Fourth one is 6. Fourth one is 6. Fifth one is 1. And next, what is the period cost? Period cost. Now, period cost are those costs which are not assigned to products. But which are not assigned to products are called the period cost. Costs which are not assigned to products are called an period cost. And next we are talking about, what is the next thing? What is the actual cost? What can be the best option you have? Already these are done. Still these are the other things are left out. What is the best option for the actual cost? Actual cost means what? The cost which has been actually incurred. That would be 2. Right? That would be 2. Next, labor and overhead. What does the labor and overhead do? They convert the raw material into finished good. Right? They are the cost of conversion. Right? What does the labor and overhead do? They are the people who convert the raw material into finished goods. So that's the conversion cost what we talk about. Next, incremental cost. Okay. What is the other options left over? Still what is there? Incurred cost is there. 3 are there. Huh? Okay, only 2 are, they should be there. 5 is there. 10 is there. Okay, here something is missing. I think 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 3, 8. 8 are there. So what is left out? 5 and 10 are left out, right? 5 and 10 are left out. 5 and 10 are left out, right? Now tell me what is the incremental cost? So incremental cost is the added value of a new product. When I'm adding a new product, what is the cost it is going to increase? It's called the incremental cost. And lastly, Budgeted cost. Now, what is a budget? What is actually it should be. Budgeted cost is what actually it should be, right? We have budgeted before. Budget means what? We plan something before. So budgeted costs are what costs are expected to be. It's not a real cost, which are the expected costs. So what's the matching here? 73861924105. That's what I wrote. If you have not written the answers, and if you don't have the material also, just write out them up, because today you'll get the material. Okay, yesterday I've sent you the number also. So if you didn't get, you can just text me. So compulsory I'll follow it up and make it. Okay, you'll get it for sure. You'll get it for sure. Next, which of the following are direct materials and indirect material? Third problem. Which of the following are direct material and indirect material? Which of the following are direct material and indirect? But what is the direct material? Direct material are those which are used directly in the manufacture of the product, which can be identified. Whereas indirect materials are which are not directly related. Okay, which are not directly related with that. See what are direct and indirect. Which of the following are indirect materials? Which of the following are indirect material? You have to identify. Which of the following are indirect materials? Now, if you see, oil used for lubricating material is indirect material. What? Am I manufacturing machines? No. If I'm manufacturing a shirt, while manufacturing in my factory, there will be some machinery. Every time I have to apply the lubricants such as oil for easy functioning. So can you identify that oil on the product? No, those are all indirect material. Next, wire used for electric motor, direct. Bottles used for filling the soft drink, direct. Gunny bags used for filling a sugar, direct. So these are all the things which are identifiable on products. Ingots used by the foundry making castings. I mean, when you make a foundry castings, they get some kind of products. So that is also a part of direct. Cushion seats to fix in a passenger car. In a car, you will have a seats. So that is also an direct material. Next, sugar cane used for making sugar. Speakers in radio set. Paper used for printing on book. Can you identify these all products in the main product or not? Yes. Next, nails used in a shoe. It is directly used in the product, right? And milk used for making it. So all these things are direct only. The only indirect material what you have is castings is some kind of fittings when you talk about. Okay, castings is some kind of fittings what we take into consideration. Generally, what do they do? Casting means generally what kind of fittings it may be is they'll convert the things into liquid and then cool it. They'll convert the things into liquid and then cool and make them into an product. That kind of things are called castings. Okay, example, if you take zinc, do you know zinc? So you should know zinc because India is one of the most popular country to serve zinc. Okay, for 4,000 years, no country could know how zinc is manufactured except India, all over the world. Okay, till 1500s, something only zinc, India could only produce zinc. Why, sir? No other country means it becomes a liquid at 977 degrees. It becomes liquid at 977 degrees and becomes vapor at 1000 degrees. That means you have to catch that zinc only within these 3 degrees of time. Okay, so it's the only technique what India know. Only India know for 4,000 years. Later on, some people have got the technology and they've made it out. They have copied from our country. What do they do? Zinc means they'll heat to a maximum extent. Okay, and how do they heat it? Means they'll keep it like this and heat. When it gets at 977 degrees, it cools and comes down. That's what they do. If I keep like this, it gets vapor. That's why what do? They'll keep like this in inverted shape and they start cooling. Once it gets cooled and come down, it again becomes into a solid shape. That's what is a zinc. Understood? So that kind of things are called castings, which can be first which you have to liquefy, and then you have to make the product, and then you pour them into some vessel or something and make whatever the resources you want. That kind of things are called castings. Okay, castings are some kind of metals which are prepared by first cooling and then again liquefying it. Okay. Okay, so except oil used for lubricating machine, remaining all are direct. I mean, even they give when you're taking a soft drink, the bottle what is used is also a direct material, which you can observe. Even rice bag, the bag used is also a direct material. Sir, we don't use that bag. Do we eat that bag? No. So only the rice, but to store that we need that bag. So that will also come under the direct material only. I mean, these are basically the theory parts what we have. These are all the theory parts what we have. So this third question, I'll remove it Amma, from the screen because it takes a lot of, what do? We'll delete this because already we have done that problems. We don't need this. Okay, I've removed the 2 pages because we don't need. Okay. Now see the fourth question. A manufacturer has shown an amount of 16,190 in the books. Establishment which really includes the following expenses. They have given the following expenses, and you have to identify which are selling expenses, which are distribution expenses, which are administrative expenses, and which we would disregard in estimating cost. Disregard means while you are calculating the cost which we don't take. While we are calculating the cost which we don't take. Okay. You can identify, yes, which comes under A, B, C, D. Okay. Try to identify, then I'll discuss the point. You first try to make it out. Again, I'm in this when you're writing, warehouse is a place where we store till we sell it out. So any kind of warehouse expenses will be a distribution expense. Any kind of expenses which are related to the warehouse are distribution expenses. So I manufacture, but still I sell till I sell it out. I have to store it someplace. That's called the warehouse. Right? So any kind of warehouse expenses is distribution expenses. Now try to identify which category that they belong to. First, agent commission. My agent's commission we pay for sales. So it will be coming in A. A. Next, warehouse wages. What did I tell warehouse wages? What is ABCD means? This ABCD I'm writing. A means selling, B means distribution, C means administrative, D means which doesn't come in the costs. Okay, don't think what's the ABCD. So if I'm writing A means it's the selling expenses. Next, warehouse wages. So as I told you, it's B, any warehouse, and warehouse repairs, it comes in B. Lighting of office. Office is what am I? Administration. So what do we do in the office? Administration, which will be C. Next, office salaries. Office salaries is also administration. Director's remuneration. What does the director do? He also administers the things. So C. Traveling expenses. Traveling expenses, you can say it as an A, selling expenses. Next, rent, rates and insurance of warehouse. Warehouse means B, that's distribution. Right? Next one is rent rates and insurance of office. Rent rates of insurance of office means where does it come from? It comes in C, there's administration. Office means administration. Lighting of warehouse. Warehouse is B. Printing and stationery. Where do we take? Printing and stationery, I can take it out in the case of administration. Next, trade magazines. Any kind of a trade magazines, what we take? The business normal magazines, what we take will be taken into the administration expenses. Donations. Some donations is not considered when you make it out. So donations comes in D, which are not, doesn't become a path. Income tax, donations, yesterday I told you last. Next, bank charges. Okay, bank charges, it may not be directly related. You can take either it in the case of C, or you can take, sometimes it is not taken into consideration. Okay, so I'll take here as administration expenses. And discount allowed. I mean, discount allowed is on, it's not on the cost. It doesn't have any impact on the cost. You are doing it after sale. I told you before, trade discount will be considered in the cost sheet, but cash discount is not considered. So when discount allowed or discount received means, that's all we assume that cash discount. So this also will be coming in D. And bad debts. Okay, man, the last one what we have is bad debts. Bad debts is something what you can take it in the selling expenses. But bad debts will not be identified. Sometimes you don't take them into consideration. It depends upon for what purpose or how the bad debts has occurred. Okay, so these are all the things what we need to consider. Means which category, whether the selling expense, distribution expense, or what kind of nature it is we are going to identify. Understood the point? Is it clear? If you are having the material, try to write it out. Is it clear? But tomorrow you have a mock test. That's why I'll plan a big sum. But because I want to do some problems, I'm making it. Yesterday I told you to do the sixth one. I'll just do 2 problems and we'll go to the bits. Okay. Just we'll do 2 problems and we'll practice some bits. Okay. And the bits also I'll maximum try to send it in the group. Okay. There in the group, otherwise I would have directly sent it. No, the issue. We'll do the 7th problem. Just 1 or 2 problems I'll do and we'll practice the bits today. Okay. Because you have the mock test as you said. But that's what the bad debts, whatever is there, it depends upon what nature of bad debts it is. So generally, if it is related to the goods, whatever it is due to the things, then you can write it in the case of a cost sheet. I mean, it's not about the cost sheet. Here we are not talking about the cost sheet. We are just identifying which kind of expenses it is, right? Which kind of expense is a part of the selling expenses. Okay, then when we write and when we don't write, when we go to the cost sheet, that's separate, right? So once see the 7th question. 7th question you should do 7th one, and one more question we'll try. One more problem of the other model. 10th one, very important, we'll do that. But try to do the 7th one. I'll just draw the format here, a rough format here. If they are given, we have to write per unit also. If not given the units, then we'll write only the total, right? Now the point here is, what did they say? Direct material consumed. They said direct material consumed, and direct labor they gave, direct expenses they gave, factory overheads they gave, selling and distribution overheads, opening finished goods, closing finished goods. Okay, and they said 1/6 of sales is the profit. As you know, what's the formula we learn? The first thing is direct material plus direct labor plus direct expenses. We call it as a prime cost, right? What's the direct material they gave? They gave it as 4 lakhs. And what's the direct labor? 40% of direct material. So 40% of 4 lakhs will be 1,60,000. And 50% of direct labor will be a trade magazine, business magazines. Generally, you see some business magazines which are going, which you will see in the market, that kind of business magazines. When you sit in the office, some magazines will be kept in front of you just for your, just to have a view about it. Yes, that kind of things are called trade or business magazines. Trade itself is business. My next direct expense is 50% of direct labor. Direct labor is 1,80,000. So this should be 80,000. Now identify what is the prime cost. Now identify what is the prime cost you got. So 5 lakh 60, I think so 6 lakhs 40,000, right? 6 lakhs 40,000 is my prime cost. Next, what did they give? Factory overheads is 25 percentage of factory overheads is 25 percentage of prime cost. I know prime cost is 6 lakhs 40. What is 25% of 6 lakhs 40? 25% of 6 lakhs 40. 320, I think so 1 lakh 60,000. Right? 1 lakh 60,000. So that would be totally 8 lakhs. But did they give opening work in progress and closing work in progress? No. Then this will be only the net factory cost. This will only be the gross factory cost. So I can write directly works cost or factory cost. I'm just writing as works cost or factory cost. And still what did they give? Office and administrative expenses are 150 rupees per 10 units produced. Office and administrative expenses. So what is office and administrative expenses? If you see 150 per 10 units. 150 per 10 units produced. That means for 10 units 150 means per unit how much? Per unit is 15. No, per unit 15. We should multiply with what? Units produced or units sold? I told you yesterday, till cost of production, we should use only number of units produced. Number of units produced, right? But do you know how many units produced? They didn't give. If you see, they didn't give how many units you produced, right? I will calculate that. How do we calculate goods produced? Goods produced is equal to, or you have a COGS formula, right? You know COGS formula. What COGS formula generally? COGS is equal to opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock in general, we write. If we take the same formula in units, 16,400 is the number of units sold, and opening units he gave finished goods 800. I don't know purchased units or produced units minus 400. Then what is the number of units produced? If you solve all these things, you will get 16,000 units. You understood the point? They didn't tell how many units are produced. They didn't give how many units are produced. So how do? I apply the formula and identify the goods produced. How many units I got? 16,000 units I got. Understood the point? Now 16,000 into 15, how much? 16,000 into 15. But 16,400 is the units sold, right? Units sold. But we need how many units produced? The number of units produced are, when I apply the formula something like COGS, I know units sold are 16,400 and opening stock is 800 and closing 400 means how many units I produced in this year? 16,000. So what is the office and administrative expenses? 16,000 into 15. Please tell me how much you got the value of 16,000 into 15? 2 lakhs 40,000. 16,000 into 15, it's around 2 lakhs 40,000, right? So 2 lakhs 40,000 is this. So what is it called once you add the office and administrative expenses? Cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. How much is the cost of goods sold? 8 lakhs plus 2 lakh 40, I think 10 lakh 40,000. Right? 10 lakhs 40,000. To that, what do? We add the opening stock and we subtract the closing stock. But here you can see the opening stock value is given as 800 into 85.5. Right? 800 into 85.5 he gave. How much is the opening stock? 800 into 85.5. Yes. 800 into 85.5. How much you got? Yes, 68,400, right? 68,400. But when you see closing stock, they gave 400. Did they give the value? Did they give the value? They didn't give. They didn't give the value, right? How do we get it is I take this value. 10 lakhs 40,000 is the cost of goods sold, no? Yes. For how many units you produced? For how many units we produced? Okay, this cost of goods manufactured or good cost of production, right? How many units we produced? 16,000 units we produced. That means per unit how much? 10 lakhs 40,000 divided by 16,000. 10 lakhs 40,000 divided by 16,000. ఎంత వచ్చిందమ్మా? 10 lakhs 40,000 divided by 16,000. 65. అమ్మా ఎప్పుడేం చెప్తున్నాను, క్లోజింగ్ స్టాక్ యూనిట్స్ ఇచ్చి వాల్యూ ఇవ్వకపోతే మీరు అక్కడ దాకా కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొడక్షన్ వరకు పర్ యూనిట్ ఎంతైతే వచ్చిందో దట్ ఈస్ ద యూనిట్స్ వాట్ యూ హావ్ టు టేక్ ఇన్ టు ద వాల్యూ. సో 400 into 65. ఓపెనింగ్ ఇస్తారమ్మా, they'll give the opening but closing may not be given. Then 400 into 65 you'll get the value. So how much is the 400 into 65? 26,000. Right? Now cost of goods sold is 10 lakhs 40,000 plus 68,400 minus 26,000. So that would be the value. How much you can? How much, Amma? How much you got? Yes, two answers I got. I got two answers. 10 lakhs 40,000 plus 68,400 minus 26,000. Okay, Amma? I think so. 10 lakhs 82,400. Right, I got multiple answers here. But when I calculate 10 lakh 82,400 is the cost of goods sold. But once you get the cost of goods sold, what should we add? Selling and distribution overheads. How much is said selling and distribution overheads once we come back to the question? It is 500 per 100 units sold. Per 100 units, 500 means per unit how much? 5 rupees. Right? So how many units did we sell? 16,400 into 5. How much? 16,400 into 5? 82,000. Right? 82,000 is the value what you got. So this is called cost of sales. Cost of sales is how much? 10 lakhs 82,400 plus 82,000. I think so. 11 lakhs 64,400. 11 lakhs 64,400. Is it clear? చూడండి ఇక్కడ ఒక పాయింట్ చెప్తాను. ఫ్రమ్ హియర్ కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ సోల్డ్ దగ్గర నుంచి పర్ యూనిట్ కనుక్కునేటప్పుడు విత్ వాట్ విల్ బి డివైడ్? we have to divide by 16,400. 10 lakhs 82,400 divided by 16,400 చేస్తే పర్ యూనిట్ ఎంత అనేది వస్తుంది. ఓకేనమ్మా? 11 lakhs 64,400. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ కూడా we have to divide by 16,400, not 16,000. As I told you before, cost of production వరకు మాత్రమే we divide by the till cost of production only we divide by the number of units what are produced. From cost of goods sold, what do we consider? We consider the number of units sold. మీరు ఒక్కసారి ఇక్కడ ప్రాబ్లం చూస్తే how did that 65 came? Somebody have asked. ఇక్కడ చూడండి అమ్మా, ఇక్కడ నాకు క్లోజింగ్ స్టాక్ యూనిట్స్ ఇచ్చారు, they didn't give the value. Whatever the cost of production there, మనకు total cost 10 lakhs 40,000 వచ్చినాం. And how many units produced? 16,000, which we did the working note here. So 10 lakhs 40,000 divided by 16,000 cheste, I got 65 rupees per unit. Understood, Amma? Yes, Supriya. That fine? మనకి 10 lakhs 40,000 వచ్చిందమ్మా. 10 lakhs 40,000 produce unit 60,000 కాబట్టి 65. When should we calculate like this? అంటే closing stock when they give the units but they don't give the value, ఇలా calculate చేసి here. Okay, now cost of sales వచ్చిందమ్మా. ఇక్కడే ఒక పాయింట్, ప్రాఫిట్ పర్సెంటేజ్ 1/6 ఆన్ సేల్స్ అన్నాడు. అంతేనే కదా, 1/6 ఆన్ సేల్స్ అన్నాడు. కానీ మనకి కాస్ట్ తెలుసు, మనకి కాస్ట్ తెలుసు. ఓకే, మనకి ప్రాఫిట్ ఆన్ కాస్ట్ కావాలి. వి నీడ్ ద ప్రాఫిట్ ఆన్ కాస్ట్ బట్ నాట్ ఆన్ సేల్స్. సో వాట్ డూ ఐ డూ హియర్ ఇస్, నేను మన ఫార్ములా చెప్పాను. ఐ టోల్డ్ యూ వన్ ఫార్ములా. ఆన్ సేల్స్ ఇస్తే పర్సెంటేజ్ ఆన్ కాస్ట్ ఎలా కనుక్కోవాలి? ఇఫ్ యూ టర్న్ ద పేజ్ అండ్ చెక్ ఇట్ అవుట్, subtract the numerator from the denominator. Avuna? numerator ni denominator lo subtract cheste it automatically converts into on cost. I told you, I guess. On cost on sales last low. So profit in the 1/5 on this. So 1/5 of 11,64,400. 11,64,400 lo 1/5 entamma. 1/5. But in 1/5 ఎందుకు చేసిన అర్థమైందా? He gave us a percentage on sales. కానీ మనకి కాస్ట్ తెలుసు. So we have to apply on cost. To apply it on cost, what is the formula I told you? To convert from sales to cost, subtract the numerator from the denominator, automatically cost look మారిపోతుంది. So 11,64,400. 11,64,400 into 1/5 చేయాలి. Into do 1/5, how much is the value you get? 2,32,880. Somebody have texted 2,32,880. And then what is the total sales value? 11,64,400 plus 2,32,880. Understood? Understood, Amma? How much you got the total? Total is something, yes, 13 lakhs 97,280. Right, 13 lakhs 97,280. So this is how do we apply in reality. How do you prepare a cost sheet? Why I told specifically this problem, because in this problem they didn't give the closing, they gave closing stock. They gave closing stock, but they didn't give the value of it. When they don't give the value, you have to identify the cost of production there and apply it on. Okay, and second thing is they didn't give you how many units are produced. So, but because we know the opening finished goods and closing finished goods and the sold, ultimately I calculated the number of units produced. Okay, once again check the question number. If you have any doubt on this, I can help you. Is it okay? Must sales profit, somebody have asked, again I am telling you the sales profit part. Must sales profit చూస్తే they gave 1/6 on sales అన్నాడు. మనకు సేల్స్ వాల్యూ తెలియకుండా సేల్స్ మీద అప్లై చేయలేం కదా. We don't know the sales value. మనకేం తెలుసు, కాస్ట్ వాల్యూ మాత్రమే తెలుసు అన్న. సో ఐ హ్యావ్ టు అప్లై ద ప్రాఫిట్ ఆన్ కాస్ట్. సో మనకి 1/6 ఆన్ సేల్స్ అన్నాడు కాబట్టి వీ నీడ్ ద ప్రాఫిట్ పర్సెంటేజ్ ఆన్ కాస్ట్ కాబట్టి 1/6 టు కన్వర్ట్ ఇన్ టు సేల్స్, subtract the numerator from the denominator, so automatically it will be 1/5. It will be automatically 1/5. So 1/6 on sales anna, 1/5 on cost anna, both are same. That's what we are going to do here. మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను, మనకి కాస్ట్ ఇచ్చారమ్మా, కాస్ట్ పర్సెంట్ కాస్ట్ వచ్చి మనకి సేల్స్ వాల్యూ ఇవ్వలేదు, వాటికి మన ప్రాఫిట్ పర్సెంటేజ్ ఎంత ఇచ్చారు, 1/6 ఆన్ సేల్స్. సేల్స్ వాల్యూ తెలిస్తే సేల్స్ మీద 1/6 చేయగలం, అసలు సేల్స్ వాల్యూ తెలియదు కదా, మనకి కాస్ట్ తెలుసు కాబట్టి మనం సేల్స్ ప్రాఫిట్ పర్సెంటేజ్ ని ఆన్ కాస్ట్ ప్రాఫిట్ పర్సెంటేజ్ కింద మార్చాలి. ఓకే, హౌ డు వి చేంజ్ ఇట్ అవుట్ అంటే సబ్ట్రాక్ట్ ద న్యూమరేటర్ ఫ్రమ్ ద డినామినేటర్. 1/6 ఉందమ్మా, 1 డినామినేటర్ లో సబ్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసేస్తే ఆటోమేటిక్గా అది ఆన్ సేల్ అయిపోతుంది, ఆన్ కాస్ట్ అయిపోతుంది. సో 1/6 ఆన్ సేల్ అన్నా 1/5 ఆన్ కాస్ట్ అన్నా ఒకటే. ఇప్పుడు 1/5 ఆన్ కాస్ట్ తెలుసు కాబట్టి 11,64,400 మీద 1/5 చేశాను, దట్ ఈస్ 2,32,880. ఇస్ ఇట్ ఓకే అమ్మా? గూడ్స్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ చెప్తున్నాము. We generally know the COGS formula, right? Cost of goods sold is equal to opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Okay. Okay, so మన సేల్ చేసిన ఎన్ని మొత్తం 16,400 సేల్ చేసాం, అండ్ ఓపెనింగ్ స్టాక్ 800 ఉందమ్మా, క్లోజింగ్ స్టాక్ 400 ఉంది. అంటే ఇప్పుడు నాకు సేల్స్ గూడ్స్ తెలుసు, ఓపెనింగ్ స్టాక్ తెలుసు, క్లోజింగ్ స్టాక్ తెలుసు. ఫినిష్ గుడ్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ ఆల్వేస్ ద ఫినిష్ గుడ్స్. ఇది కనుక్కునేటప్పుడు కూడా ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఏ యూనిట్స్ వాడాలి, ఓపెనింగ్ క్లోజింగ్ ఫినిష్ గుడ్స్ వాడాలి. సో వెన్ యూ టేక్ ఇట్ అవుట్, ఓపెనింగ్ ఫినిష్ గుడ్స్, క్లోజింగ్ ఫినిష్ గుడ్స్, దెన్ What is the produced units? If you solve that, the produced units is 16,000. The produced units is 16,000. Okay, Amma? That's the point what you have on the base of 7. Lastly, before going on with the bits, I'll just tell you one more problem. If you know the cost sheet better, this all looks very easy. We have done all the problems from your institute material. Institute material, any problems chesam. Okay. And one more little complicated issue ఏదైతే ఉందో మళ్ళీ 11th one మీరు చేయాలి. The same model as I told you now. Finished goods closing stock units ఇచ్చారు కానీ దాని వాల్యూ ఇవ్వలేదు. ఇందాక కూడా అంతే కదా క్లోజింగ్ స్టాక్ యూనిట్స్ ఇచ్చారు బట్ దే డిడ్ంట్ గివ్ వాల్యూ. ఇక్కడ కూడా అలాగే చేస్తాను 11th one. బట్ 10th one చెక్ చేయండి అమ్మ. చెక్ ద 10th ప్రాబ్లం. Check the problem number 10. The books of Yash Manufacturing Company presents you the following information. Just a second. I'll just okay. I'll remove all the other things so that the screen becomes little better. See the problem number 10. The books of Yash Manufacturing Company presents the following data for the month of April 2010. The direct labor cost being 17,500. Direct labor cost entama? The direct labor cost is 17,500, right? And being 175% of works overhead. Ante factory overhead entaithe undo daniki that is 175%. Okay, direct labor cost 17,500 amma. Being 175% of works overhead and works overhead should be how much? 10,000. Works overhead and factory overhead 10,000 aitene. Okay, then 10% is factory. That's 175% is direct labor cost, right? Direct labor cost 17,500 and factory overheads is amounting to 10,000. Point. Did you understand the point? What he said? Okay. So he said that direct labor cost 17,500 being 175% of works overhead. Works overhead lo, let's say 170. Works overhead ikkada enta nadam 10,000. 10,000 aithe kada 10,000 into 175% direct labor cost is 17,500. Cost of goods. Cost of goods sold excluding administrative expenses. అంటే అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ కలపకుండా కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ సోల్డ్ ఎంతమ్మా 56,000 ఇచ్చారు. ఇన్వెంటరీ అకౌంట్ షోడ్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ ఓపెనింగ్ అండ్ క్లోజింగ్ బ్యాలెన్స్. రా మెటీరియల్ ఓపెనింగ్ ఇచ్చారు, వర్క్ ఇన్ ప్రోగ్రెస్ ఇచ్చారు, ఫినిష్డ్ గుడ్స్ ఇచ్చారు. ఓపెనింగ్ క్లోజింగ్ యు నో వేర్ టు యూజ్ అకార్డింగ్ టు ద ఫార్మాట్. సెల్లింగ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ దే గివ్ సెల్లింగ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్. జనరల్ అండ్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్. జనరల్ అండ్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ 2,500 ఇచ్చారు. Sales for the month. Okay, you are required to calculate the material purchased. Sir, cost sheet rough ka edam. What is the cost sheet? If you write man em rastam direct material consumed, direct labor, direct expenses ee moodu kalipte we call it prime cost. ante kada daniki malli mana factory overheads add cheste we get the gross factory cost. daniki em chestamo we are adding the opening work in progress minus closing work in progress, we get net factory cost. Okay, net factory cost. Net factory cost, what do we add? Office and administration overheads. This is called cost of production, right? Cost of production ki add chestunama, you are adding the opening finished goods minus closing finished goods, you are getting the cost of goods sold. Yes. Then cost of goods sold, you are adding the selling and distribution overheads. You are getting the cost of sales. Dani profit. This is what you do normally. First direct material manaku teliyadu because the goods purchase ivalledu. So without doing that, you can't. Without knowing the purchase, you can't write the cost sheet. Right? That's the problem what we face. Direct labor icharu, direct expenses icharamma. Yes. డైరెక్ట్ లేబర్ ఇచ్చారు, డైరెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ ఇచ్చారు. అండ్ వాట్ డి దే గివ్? ప్రైమ్ కాస్ట్ ఆల్సో దే గివ్. ప్రైమ్ కాస్ట్ కూడా ఇచ్చారు. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు నేను ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేయాలి? ఐ హావ్ టు క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ద గూడ్స్ పర్చేస్డ్. అది ఎలా క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తాను? మనకు ఒక హింట్ ఇచ్చారు. వాట్ ఇస్ ద హింట్ గివెన్ ఇస్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద వర్కింగ్ నోట్ ఐఎమ్ రైటింగ్. కాస్ట్ షీట్ తర్వాత విల్ రైట్ ద వర్కింగ్ నోట్ ఫస్ట్. వాట్ ద వర్కింగ్ నోట్ అంటే వెన్ యూ గో, మనకి ఇచ్చిన హింట్ ఏంటంటే దే గేవ్ యూ ద వాట్ డిడ్ దే గివ్? కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ సోల్డ్ ఇచ్చారు. We know cost of goods sold is 56,000 excluding administration expenses. Administration expenses కాకుండా అంటే this is what they give. అంటే కదా, this is what they give. This is 56,000 they already gave without administration expenses. Without administration expenses. Administration expenses కాకుండా cost of goods sold ఇచ్చారు. Right? Now what will I do is I will make out the reverse calculation. నేనేం చేస్తున్నానమ్మా? ఐ మేకింగ్ ద రివర్స్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్. కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ గుడ్స్ సోల్డ్ 56,000. ఓకే, కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ గుడ్స్ సోల్డ్ 56,000. దీని నుంచి రివర్స్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్దాం. అంటే ఏం చేయాలి? ఇక్కడ ప్లస్ ఓపెనింగ్ మైనస్ క్లోజింగ్ కదమ్మా. సో వెన్ ఐ మేకింగ్ ఇట్ రివర్స్, వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్? ఆపోజిట్ సైడ్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ప్లస్ క్లోజింగ్ ఫినిష్ గూడ్స్ మైనస్ ఓపెనింగ్ ఫినిష్. అంతే కదమ్మా. ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు అటుపక్క వస్తే ప్లస్ బికమ్స్ మైనస్ అండ్ మైనస్ బికమ్స్ ప్లస్. మరి ఇట్స్ ఎక్స్క్లూడింగ్ ఇట్ మీ ఓవర్ హెడ్స్ అన్నాడు కాబట్టి ఐ డోంట్ కన్సిడర్ దిస్. Right? I don't consider this. So ikkada daaka we call cost of production anukunnam. Okay, cost of production or factory. Dan tarvata emannadu? Then still what did he give? Inka paiki velte emannama? Work in progress, closing work in progress undi. Again what should I do? Add closing work in progress minus opening work in progress. I am doing the reverse calculation. Chudandi, is equal to it chestunappudu anni reverse avutunnayi. Next, minus factory overheads. Yes, what do you call here? This called as an works cost. Works cost, right? Whatever you are doing here is called works cost. Works cost tarvata malli mana em cheyali? Factory overheads. Factory overheads em cheyali? Add cheyala, subtract cheyala? Ikkada mana em chesamu? We have added it, right? We have added it. We have added it kabatti what should we do? We have to subtract here factory overheads. So ikkada daaka vachindanటే prime cost. Mundu ikkada daaka cheddama. We'll make the calculation clear. What is the opening work in progress, closing, finished goods enta opening closing? 19,000 closing, 17,600 opening. So plus 19,000 minus 17,600. Right? I'm doing the reverse formula and first going back to the starting. Okay namma? 56,000 plus 19,000 minus 17,600 cost of production enta vachindi? What's the cost of production number? 57,400. Right? 57,400. Okay. This is okay number. Again work in progress. Opening itcher, closing. Closing enta 14,500 and opening is 10,500. So plus 14,500 minus 10,500. So again, how much is the works cost? How much is the works cost you got? That's our works cost. Yes, somebody has texted 61,400. 61,400 is what it is. And again, factory overheads he gave in the hint. Man, even chedu direct labor is 17,500. 17,500. 17,500. Dalo 175% of works cost and the works cost is 10,000 kada. So I am subtracting the 10,000 here. So that will become 54,500, 51,400. మనకి ప్రైమ్ కాస్ట్ వచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు ప్రైమ్ కాస్ట్ అంటే ఏంటి? డైరెక్ట్ మెటీరియల్, డైరెక్ట్ లేబర్, డైరెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్. ఓకేమా? ఏమి ఇచ్చాడు వాడు? డైరెక్ట్ లేబర్ ఇచ్చారు. డైరెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పెన్స్ గురించి ఏం చెప్పలేదు. సో డైరెక్ట్ లేబర్ ఇచ్చారు. సో డైరెక్ట్ లేబర్ కూడా సబ్ట్రాక్ట్ చేస్తే దట్ ఇస్ 17,500. మనకు వచ్చేది ఏంటమ్మా? డైరెక్ట్ మెటీరియల్ కన్జ్యూమ్డ్ ఈజ్ వాట్ యు గెట్. డైరెక్ట్ మెటీరియల్ consumed is what we get. How much is the consumed you got? Consumed ఎంత వచ్చిందమ్మా? How much is the direct material consumed? 33,900. So that is 33,900. You got it. 33,900. కానీ మన డైరెక్ట్ మెటీరియల్ కన్జ్యూమ్డ్ ఫార్ములా ఏంటి? ఓపెనింగ్ రా మెటీరియల్ ప్లస్ పర్చేజెస్ ప్లస్ డైరెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ మైనస్ క్లోజింగ్ రా మెటీరియల్. We know direct material consumed is 33,900. And what's the opening raw material in the question? 16,19. 16,000 plus purchases minus 19,000. Then right? Sorry. 8,000, 10,600. What's that? 8,000 and 10,600. Not this. I've seen some other question. So 8,000. This is 10,600. Now calculate what is the purchases. What's the purchases? How much is the purchase? The purchases got around 36,500. 36,500. Right? Now, once you know the purchase, now you can write everything in the format wise. Direct material consumed, that is 33,900 something. Yes, 33,900. 33,900. Direct labor 17,500. Like that, you will write the same format again. Understand the point? The thing is, when they don't give some kind of opening balances, you can check the problem here. How I have done. I have gone with the reverse calculation and identified the purchases. I've gone with the reverse calculation and identified the purchases. Now you are able to hear.